ER 632. State of Ohio versus Mark Mann. Appearing on behalf of the defendants, Attorney David Doughton and Patricia Smith. On behalf of the state is Attorney Victor Bellucci and Fran McCarty. Gentlemen, do you want to state the plea negotiations, if any, for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Previous to today's hearing, I've had some conversations with defense counsel. There are no plea negotiations, Your Honor. The state of Ohio has made no offers, and other than a plea to the indictment. It's my understanding that that's what's going to occur this morning, is a plea to the indictment, which is murder under 2903-02. The case was indicted, Your Honor, in the alternative under the A section and the B section. It's my understanding the plea will be entered to the A section, and because those two would then merge, we would nolly the B section. So that is my understanding of what will occur this morning.
All right, Mr. Mann, is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Doughton and Ms. Smith, is that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to count one of the indictment, murder and unclassified felony, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You understand the nature of the charge you're pleading to, that you did purposely cause the death of Samantha Nielski, is that it?
Nielski.
Nielski?
Yes, sir.
Could I have a written plea? That is an unclassified felony. It carries a penalty of an indefinite term from 15 years to life and a fine of up to $15,000. Do you understand the penalty?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that this is a mandatory term in prison? That means there is no eligibility for parole for at least 15 years. Do you understand that? You understand by entering a plea of guilty, I could proceed and sentence you today, which I plan on doing.
Yes, sir.
You understand by entering a plea of guilty, you're waiving certain constitutional rights. The first of those rights is a right to a jury trial. At that jury trial, you have the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You also have the right to compulsory process. That's the right to subpoena or compel witnesses to come in and testify on your behalf. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And finally, at that trial, you have the right to require the state of Ohio to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, at which time you cannot be compelled to testify against yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand by entering a plea of guilty, you're waiving any right of appeal.
Yes, sir.
You've heard the Rule 11 of plea negotiations stated here on the record. You understand them and you're satisfied.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what was stated here on the record?
No, Your
Has anybody threatened you in any way in order to enter this plea?
No, Your
You've had a chance to go over this written plea of guilty with your counsel, is that correct? And you've had me go over it with you here in open court. You understand it?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your intention to enter a plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
You're a citizen of the United States,
Yes, sir.
and you're satisfied with the representation of your attorneys.
Yes, sir.
The court will accept your plea, make a finding of guilty as to count one. For the record, I have received a psychological report, which I have read from Dr. James R. Eisenberg, which will be made a part of the record. I have received a packet of victim impact statements, which will also be made a part of the record. Because the sentence is mandatory and by statute, I'm not going to refer this for a pre-sentence investigation unless you request it.
No, Your Honor.
With that, do you have any victim impact statements, Mr. Bellucci?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we have many members of Samantha's family with us this morning, many of which have submitted written statements, which I know the court has and will read and consider. Samantha's sister, Dana Mishniak, would like to address the court, and Wendy Johnson, our victim advocate, will also read two statements that the family would like to have personally read in open court.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dana?
Dear Judge Johnson Lowe, my name is Dana Mishniak. Samantha is my sister. The morning I received the call that my sister was murdered was the most devastating event of my life. I think I went out of my mind during that period. Ever since then, my heart has been so heavy with sadness. Not only did I watch my whole family fall apart, but I lost my best friend, my confidant, and above all, my only sister. I am lost, truly lost without her. She was a very important person in my life and my children's lives. And my greatest sadness is for Samantha, that her life ended so early and so tragically. Did she know at that moment she was going to die? Did she feel any pain? And it haunts me every day. She was such a beautiful person inside and out. She was a very kind and giving person and had such a zest for life. She did not deserve the awful beating she endured and to have her life strangled out of her. I will miss her and grieve her for every day that I live. To think of what might have been. We were supposed to grow old together, raise our children, to laugh and reminisce about old times and make new memories. My children will not remember what a wonderful and vibrant person Samantha was. They only have the memories that will fade with time. I try to recall the last words I said to her and the last time I saw her. There's no one who can ever replace her in my life. She was present for the birth of my two sons and stood by my side through it all. I can never repay her as she will never experience motherhood. She can never again enjoy the pleasures of life, and for that I believe Mark Mann should not either. He should never see the light of day for what he did to her. The person she was and the special times we had together will all be but cherished memories for my family and I now. May God keep her in his graces until I see her again. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you have a seat? Ms. Johnson?
Your Honor, the reading was 3 victim impact statements in the rescue meeting family. This was from Patrick and Nancy. On October 7, 2009, my life was changed forever. Since the day I was born, my sister Samantha has always been by my side through good or bad. She took care of me like I was her son instead of a brother. There is not a time that I can remember when she did not include me or ask where I was when any kind of family activity was going on. She would always make sure that I was involved somehow. Sam and I were very close. We lived together and spent a lot of time hanging out.